That looks like a Dragon King.
I did not expect to see Dagger in the book. Oh no, don't tell me Buzzsaw is going to be related to him. I mean, that makes sense. Hey guys, Blazie here, and welcome to my review of Dragons and Iron Realms Season 6. The previous season I found a bit of a disappointment. It was very average with nothing much redeeming about it. In that season, Todd's mom knows about the dragons, and most of it was just like her saying that she wants to tell the other adults, and it gets old real fast. It then ended with everyone knowing about the dragons, so I was prepared for a lot of you can't do this, don't do that, stop hanging with your dragons or I'ma drag you to hell. But that just never happened. Sure, the first episode has a little bit of it, but most of the season barely has the parents in it. June's mom is the one that probably gets the most attention, and honestly, I'm pretty thankful of that. My biggest complaint of the last season was the mom constantly hounding Tom, but it's not here, and honestly, it's a good season. The action is pretty good, the comedy was alright, the stories are good, and the new dragons are kinda cool. In particular, I really do like one of them. Some episodes felt like the original Dragon Show, like it really wasn't that bad. It was definitely an improvement. Now, was it all perfect? Well, let's get into this review. As usual, I'll just go through each episode, so of course, let's start with episode 1. A month has passed since the previous season, ending with everyone finding out, and starts with the riders chasing a dragon, chasing after a sheep, with Tom swooping in, saving a day, with the adults calling him the Dragon Whisperer. Though the others aren't happy about it, which basically comes down to Tom thinking he has the responsibility to do everything because he's the one who found the dragons in the first place. So it's one of those episodes where he forgets he has friends. At the same time, the other parents come to Tom to get him to deal with any of the dragon problems, so he is very much justified in what he does. We see a scene with Thunder at his window, and Tom says to go get some sleep in the lair. How dare you? How dare you? You can now have your dragon on the surface with you, so you bring that dragon inside for the cold and sleep with your dragon, sir. God knows I would. I feel like I have some kind of point there. Later on, Tom's mom tells everyone the dragons keep coming up for Fisher, so Tom decides he's got to find out what's happening alone. Now, one good point is the others need to make sure the dragons don't escape out into the world. But D'Angelo mentions maybe a dragon is hurt, but nope, Tom is going to do it by himself. Tom finds a cave in the fissure and finds a new area of the nature realm. I believe. It's kind of confusing, but yeah, that's what they call the foresty kind of realm. I think that's what it's called. I'm going by the Dragon Wikipedia here. Anyway, we do see this little thing, and I love him. I don't know what it is, but I love him. His name is Squeak. Thunder has a cute moment and wants to play, but Tom doesn't want to, and Thunder gets grumpy at him, which is very cute, and he says sorry, but no one understands the pressure I'm under. Again, he is justified when we see the parents asking only for his help. So the episode does work in that sense. But as they're having a moment, they get attacked by a deadly natter that's been scaring off the dragons. We then go back to the others, capturing dragons and just shoving them all in one place, looking like the Walking Dead. But at least here the kids do realise their parents don't seem to trust them. So Tom thinks it's because of Buzzsaw scaring the natter, so he tries bonding with it, which Thunder ain't too sure about. I mean, I would be annoyed too if the one I'm bonded to is like, yeah, I'm gonna bond with this other dragon. How dare you? But yeah, he tries from his heart, and it almost works, but 2 more show up. Whoops! Up top, June has the book and is looking forward to try and see what can scare away the dragons to get them back home, and finds a page of eels scaring the dragons. I do love the artwork here. I did think this was toothless at first, but it does have a different tail to it. Still great, and I do like them bringing the eels back. I do remember there was one episode of the other TV show that had Toothless accidentally eat one and basically go on a rampage drug trip. It was a good episode. Back with Tom, Thunder has sadly been hit with one of the tail spikes, with Tom realising, I wish D'Angelo was here. Yeah, you dummy. He struggles to pull out the spike, which just hurts Thunder more, and has like a little breakdown moment that he ain't no Viking, he ain't no hiccup. But Thunder hugs against him, and it's all very cutesy. You guys know I love this kind of stuff. He tries again, but gets jump scared, which does help pull it out, mind you. And so Thunder fights off with dragons, and it's pretty good action, like some good music, and it builds up to Thunder being shrouded. But Tom charges in with his sword that Thunder dropped earlier, and so they fight back, but his sword gets knocked away, and Thunder goes full Alpha Super Saiyan mode, and scares the dragons into submission. Honestly, pretty cool with great music, and even Tom says he went full alpha. So I guess that's Thunder's alpha mode. Not as cool as Toothless's, for sure. Kind of weak kind of moment to kind of do it and all that. Like, it works, but, you know, obviously it would have been cooler to have, like, a more epic kind of moment. But I'll take it. It's still cool that they still gave him some kind of alpha mode. After this, I noticed the dragons are all sad around the nest with Dragonsight missing, which is like the crystal walk Sledkin has been interested in, though Tom's thinks it was Buzzsaw. Up top, Eugene has found a bunch of toy snakes they use as eels and place around the villas to scare the dragons. Which is a little stupid, like they don't even have like a scent to them that smells like a fish or something. It's a bit stupid. It could have been done better. I absolutely will say that. It could have been absolutely done better. But, whatever. It's a kid's show. It's fine. Tom does apologize to the others, and June shows him the book and asks, who do you think these people are? Maybe those are the ones who helped him. Appreciate the writers giving those guys some love. But then we see Linda and Sledkin have been gathering the Dragonsight. Dun dun dun. But yeah, pretty decent episode. No real complaints, besides the basic not realizing, oh yeah, I have friends. But again, he was justified, and then Thunder going full alpha mode was pretty cool. So overall, a pretty solid start. Episode 2, the adults are going off on a training exercise, so they're already getting rid of the parents. They really don't do much with them knowing, as I said. And so this episode is a D'Angelo Eugene episode of Dee's dad leaving him in charge and tell them not to bring the dragons up, which of course, Eugene throws a party with the dragons. And I do love Feathers coming in on Plowhorn. Tom tries to be on Dee's side, but even he goes hangs with the dragons, doing this. But finally, Dee wins and they take their dragons back, but they see that one poor sheep whose wool still hasn't come back since the first episode, and suddenly starts chasing it. It's a bit stupid. The dragons have more control than that to just suddenly start chasing a sheep. It's forced to have them run around and lead to Dee and Eugene, their dragons and poor Feathers being locked in the hangar, because Eugene is an idiot and presses all the wrong buttons. They can't get their code, as that requires calling his dad, can't blast doors, as that would make it obvious they brought the dragons up top. They try zapping it, but end up zapping Eugene.
Okay, the bad news is that Eugene got a little toasted by Thunder's blast. But don't worry, he's fine.
Good boy.
So there's just a lot of arguing between Eugene and Dee while June comes up with a plan. There is a key they can use, but it only works on the inside, so they get a terrible terror, put a key around its neck, and put it into the vents to travel to where they are. But it ends up going into the control tower instead. As D'Angelo gets a message saying the parents are coming home early, because of course they are. The little dude starts pressing all the different buttons, and it's very cute, which also almost kills Linda in the process. It also sets off the drones in the hangar, so once again, more arguing, but Eugene eventually realizes he's been an idiot the whole time, and that he doesn't have a good relationship with his dad, and he doesn't want to ruin D'Angelo's relationship with his dad, so he does help out in the end. And so they have this little bonding moment, in other words, before lighting a fire, setting off the smoke alarm, which also then opens up the door. It's just now Dee's dad knows that alarm went off. But in the end, Eugene takes the blame, and nothing really happens. End of episode. Kind of pointless, as Eugene isn't going to suddenly change, but it's definitely the weakest episode of the season. Episode 3 is a June episode. She wants to tell her mom, the myths are, related to dragons, and so she hasn't been, wasting her whole life. She tries talking to her on the elevator, but fumbles. But Sledkin, somehow hearing everything, agrees with June and wants her to personally help her out and show her the realm, which, of course, the others are opposed to. So this episode comes down to June, all Sledkin believes in me, unlike my mother. She needs my help and is doing things for science. Not because she's some evil witch villain at all. Nope. Basically, she's my new mum. Very obvious what they're doing and what's going to happen. June and Dee show her around, telling her about the little screaming dragon from the previous season. And we see towers near some dragon site and light it up, and I do love the one relaxing on top of it. Sledkin takes photos of all this while Dee's like freaking out, and June's just being totally fine with it. And she's just completely oblivious because an adult is actually listening to her. Even though it's Sledkin. Same time, Tom and Sut sneak into her lab and find a message from Linda showing a photo from the nest from episode 1. So now knowing it was her taking over Dragon Sight. Tom tells June as she comes back, but she just says she's a scientist, of course she collects things, with Tom saying, well, if she was in the realm already collecting things, then she didn't need you. Which, damn, Tom, if this was Walk Dog 3, I'll say that was a good zinger right there. Because June was not happy about that. During the night, the dragons are acting weird, and soon enough the Widers are in Sledkin's lab and watch as she puts a tower in a cage with Dragonsight, and it suddenly starts setting on fire. Turns out Sledkin is using a recording of a screaming dragon, which humans can't hear, to make the dragons do this. Which was all June's fault. Yeah, good job. Tom reassures her, but dun Sledkin finds them. Whoops. They tumble around for a bit, basically ending with Sledkin about to capture the dragons again, but the kids appear with Sledkin's legs. She wants to leave her mark on the world, even though she's already a world-renowned scientist. But then quite suddenly, like really suddenly, June's mum appears. Sledkin trying to be all innocent, but she basically just tells Sledkin to get lost, and she walks off like an angry tiny child. And then she asks June if she's okay, acting like she suddenly does care, and even asks June to help study the dragons with her. Kind of basic episode, not the worst with the Sledkin stuff, just the June stuff was just like, you're not this dumb. Whatever. Not the worst. Episode 4, they're racing down Snowy Mountains, and later Eugene goes on about him and Webmaster having the best bond out of all of them. So I wonder if that's what the episode is going to be about. Spoiler alert. It is. But then Webbs walks off and finds a giant blade of grass. Where? The giant realm. Where is it? I don't know, they just fade into it. That's kind of really dumb, because most of the time they'll at least have like a hole or a cave or just something that they'll go through, and then there'll be a new realm. And here they just fade to it. It's really lazy. It's really lazy. But yeah, new realm, which I guess could be like the 8th or 9th realm at this point. Because according to a wiki, they have the Crystal Realm, the Dark Realm, the Fire Realm, the Ice Realm, Nature Realm, Giant Realm, Bio Realm, and King's Realm. But what about the Water Realm? I'm so glad I got that in the first take. Like, that's really confusing, because if you add the Water Realm, that's all 9 realms now. So are we done with new realms? So is the series coming to an end soon? Like, I'll discuss that at the end, I guess. So stick around, and don't forget to give this video a like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Thank you very much. Let's continue. Anyway, it's basically Honey, I Shrunk the Kids realm, of which they can't fly around as there's a giant dragon here, which they never show. That's annoying. That's really annoying. Like, can't they just use like the alphas from like the second movie or something like that? It's really weird. It honestly just sucks. But the real enemy of this episode are the Death Grippers from the third movie. They end up stinging Webmaster with their poison attacks, acting like a mind control. So yeah, he's under their control as they just walk off. There's a scene here with Feathers walking around a corner, and God, I love Feathers. Look how just goofy she looks. They find a cave where the dragons went off to, Thunder blasting it to get them out and distracted while Eugene runs into the cave to find Webbs. Webbs attacks Eugene, however, as he tries to get Webbs to remember their friendship. Tom reads from the book and sees the type of poison they have and goes to the cave to help. Tom manages to distract 2 of the dragons while one of them is still about as Eugene tries to convince Webbs one last time. And it was a good emotional scene with Eugene even crying as he calls him like the only friend that he has. It was generally pretty good, which of course snaps Webmaster out of it, so they beat the Death Gripper, go outside to help the others, but Feathers is the one that saves the day in the end, only to then get scared off by the big dragon flying above them. And once again, Feathers' face is just so funny to me. And ends with them racing again. And honestly, yeah, it was a pretty good episode. Pretty solid one. So far, things have been pretty good. Episode 5, Sledkin is put on suspension by June's mum. The riders go to the nature realm and find someone or something has been blasting a hole, and they meet up with another dragon called a Cavern Crasher, which appeared in the Race to the End series. Could also be Cavern Crusher, I do apologise for that, I will, whoops. But it's her, and D'Angelo quickly bonds with her and heals it up. They soon realise it was Sledkin's work, but she has been home since being suspended, so Tom and June watch her while the others watch Linda. We do get a weird moment as June remembers them playing as kids. It was a weird, loving moment. It's like, oh yeah, they're trying to force these two to be a couple, and it was really weird. It just came out of nowhere. I get it. It's a good moment to do it. It was just very weird. But yeah, so Linda is shown dumping rocks. I wonder what she is up to. Maybe Sledkin is digging a hole into her house. Spoiler alert, I'm white. They then go down to a realm and see another explosion went off, so they pay a visit to Buzzsaw to see what he was up to. Which the two henchmen now have Gronkles as their dragons. Kinda basic, kinda boring, but whatever. I'll take it. But he just says he doesn't need the dragon sight, because he's the Dragon King. Yep, so it's just a very quick visit. As I head off back to the cave, I see a bomb is set up, and nearby is Sledkin and Linda. Who knew? And she has been taking the dragon sight as one day will be a very sought out rare material, and she wants all of it. Sure. But what does it do that benefits humans that makes her want it so much? That's what I want to know. Anyway, tug of war with Sledkin, not really caring as she blows up the kids, which is exactly what happens as the bomb goes off with the dragons protecting the kids as rocks all come down on top of them. And for what it's worth, Sledkin does panic and try to help, but also then blames the kids and then gives up pretty quickly. The kids are fine though, but now all sad as they're stuck there and they start running out of air real quickly. So all sad, kinda cute little moments. But as things reach the end, the Cavern Crosser comes in. I did write Cavern Crosser there. I wrote Crasher up top, Crosser there. Whoops. He comes in and saves the day. Yay. So back home, they confront Sledkin, and I was right, she was making a hole in the ground to go get to the realms. But she suddenly bolted out of there, and that's the last that we see of her this season. Tom is right, she might tell the world about the dragons, while we get this shot of Webbs rubbing his ass against a tree. But Mum lets him know that she wants all the credit, so she's not going to tell anyone just yet. But she also says the dragon sight has oxygen-related properties, making it quite important to the realm. So her exploding it and collecting it is doing damage to it because it supplies oxygen to the realm. Which also explains the abundance of life down there. And honestly, I do like this explanation for it all. It's not a bad idea. Though, how does it benefit Sledkin? Again, that's what I want to know. In the end though, it's not a bad episode at all. Episode 6, Buzzsaw learns the writers have a book, so he wants it.
I'm the king of dragons! I should have that book! And I'm gonna get it, whatever it takes.
And then we see Tom and Thunder flying and chilling about. I really like this. We need more of these kind of moments.
What about that one? What's that cloud look like? Oh, come on, another dragon? They can't all look like dragons. This is the best. Soaring through the open skies, just you and me. Not a care in the world.
These just remind me of Hiccup and Toothless. And yeah, obviously these are Hiccup and Toothless, but I like those kind of moments. The fans like these kind of moments. I definitely want more of this, please. And then they have a dude being attacked by the jerk sheep, which is what Tom calls it, so I guess that's his official name, the jerk sheep. That's kind of great. And then Alex tells them the sensors are going off, and so they go down to a well to check it out. It's a little hobgoblin dragon trapped in a cage, which is a very obvious trap by Buzzsaw and crew. He spit out little blow darts, one of which hits Thunder. Turns out it was poisoned, and Buzzsaw will give him the antidote in exchange for the book. He doesn't have it on him for first time ever. He normally always just brings it out, but now he's just like, oh no, it's old, so I don't take it everywhere with me. That's convenient, they did take it with him this one time. So he has until sundown. So this is the sad, tragic episode as they take Thunder and the Hobgoblin up top to try and find an anti-venom as Thunder gets worse and worse throughout the episode. And so we do get those sad little moments between Tom and Thunder. They do see the hobgoblin was also hit, but it's fine. So they look into the book and see like a flower that it eats, so assume it's a flower. So all but Tom and Alex go down to a realm and collect the flowers. They have a little trouble with the other hobgoblins, but they manage to get them, go back and give Thunder the flowers, but it doesn't work. But we did see quickly a little slug on the flower. Well done on the subtlety, guys. I actually do, like, that's honest. Well done on that. That was subtle, I will give you guys that. So now Tom freaks out and goes down with Feathers to give him a book. But, of course, it was a trick. Buzzsaw has no antidote, and the two headsmen grab him. Luckily, up top, D'Angelo notices a little slug and feeds it to Thunder. So, back with Buzzsaw going full villain, wanting to know what the poison does to a human, which is just like, damn. But Feathers knocks him out, but gets stung in the process. But it's okay though, Thunder saves the day, and Jude even brings out her shield for the little fight. And it ends with them escaping, but Buzzsaw has the book. But realizes he can't read it, and so he throws the book and opens to that image of Dagger. Honestly, pretty cool to see Dagger get mentioned. Like, I get why he's in the book after, like, the adventures I had with him, from, like, this dangerous barbarian to crazy hero dude. And yeah, it was another decent episode. Episode 7, the final episode, starts off with Buzzsaw and crew pulling up a massive sea dragon crocodile dude that's called like an octofin, who is pretty cool looking. Like, yeah, he's not exactly a dragon, but I still really love his design. He's honestly one of my favorites. I love the side eye he gives Buzzsaw here, and him like whipping him is just great. But now I'm confused what realm they're in. But apparently it's the Giant's Realm Sea? So is the water realm they found just for Giant's Realm, just in a different section, different entrance, and I just found the water first? It's really confusing at this point, honestly. The riders come in and to distract them, Buzzsaw drops the dragon back into the water, though it's all tied up and sinking. So they want to help the dragon and go grab the container thing from the first season to help them go down into the water. They do mention they still haven't told the parents about Buzzsaw yet, so they do all this in secret. They go down, and it looks kinda cool, and they find the dragon in no time. They tie it to the sub and set off an alert to Alex and Eugene, who are still above them. They wheel them in, but get attacked by a shellfire in the process, but of course, Eugene, being Eugene, who didn't learn anything from episode 2, just presses all the buttons and breaks the thing. Really dumb they did the exact same thing here. But look, it's not like Snotlout or the twins would not do the same thing. They absolutely would in some capacity. So, I get it. He's the dumb one. He is a mix of Snotlout and the twins. He's just that character. So I get it. It's not that bad when you remember, oh yeah, the twins and Snotlout exist. So now they're stuck down there, but the octofin sends out like a cloud of ink, much like an octopus, with June basically saying it's a kraken. It even has like tentacle tail things you see towards the end there, which is kind of cool. It's kind of cool kind of thing, but which, yeah, whatever. She doesn't do the whole like, oh, this is that. This is the only time she does it, so it's fine. She doesn't then say it throughout the rest of the episode, so it's fine. I don't mind it here. But yeah, Tom realizes it's protecting them, so yeah, it's a nice dragon, which I'm happy about that, as I do like the design. So Tom decides to swim out to it to cut it out free, somehow not filling the tub with water, as they're upside down so water can't get in. I have no idea if that's how things work. It sounds like a lie, but it also sounds realistic. I guess it kind of just reminds me of that moment in Pirates of the Caribbean where they're walking under the ocean with a boat. It's like, yeah, the water can't come up. Is that how things work? Please do let me know down in the comments below, or if that's just, yeah, a Hollywood made up thing. It's a kids show. Who cares? I don't care that much. It's just one of those things that's like, is that how it works? So Tom starts cutting her oats, but the dragon is about to attack, but the sub shoots out missiles to stop it, which the others see from up top, and the dragon suddenly dives down to see what's happening. Couldn't they have just done that from the start? It's fine. Tom is about to run out of air to save the octofin, but it also saves him. So now the two big beasts fight it out, and the other dragons help lift up the sub. Eventually Thunder helps the other dragons and scares off the big bad, which is like, that's the final boss of this season? That was it? It wasn't terrible, but it just kind of appeared, annoyed them, and ran off. Like, that kind of sucked. Next, there's some cool shots of Tom and Thunder flying off with, like, the Octofin under them. It's a pretty cool shot. I would definitely give them that. This feels like classic How to Train Your Dragon. This is the kind of stuff that the reason why I like to watch it is these kind of shots and kind of moments. I really appreciated it. I really liked it. But yeah, the sub is destroyed, so they have to come clean and finally tell their folks about Buzzsaw. So they fly back home and the entire village is on fire. Buzzsaw is there, calling himself the King of Dragons and basically threatening them and so on, and it does generally look cool and menacing. And yeah, so now the parents know about the crazy dude that lives in the basement. It's a pretty solid ending that is, like, gearing up to a big final battle, I guess. Was it a great final episode? Yeah, it felt like any other episode. Like, what was his plan with the Octofin? Was it just a distraction? I don't really know. But yeah, that's the last episode of the season, and it was a pretty solid season. I don't really have complaints. Like, obviously I complained about a couple of things here and there, but overall, not really. Like, maybe they could have done more with everyone knowing, because they really did just gloss over it. Like, nothing really happened. There was no repercussions for everyone knowing. But again, I'm also kind of thankful for that, as I feel like it would have just been annoying having them constantly the parents tell them not to go play with their dragons, not to do this. So I'm kind of thankful for it at the same time. The giant realm seems cool, but it was barely shown, and which, I mean, has happened in previous seasons as well, where we'll have a new realm, but only go to it once, and kind of thing. So it kind of sucks, you know. And then it's just confusing at the moment where things are, which realms are going to. It is getting a bit confusing. It's not the worst thing, because now it just feels kind of normal and casual what they're doing, and it feels like old How to Train Your Dragon, where they could just explore all these different places. So I don't mind it that much. And that's probably just my biggest gripe with the season, though, is it's just kind of confusing as to where they are sometimes. But yeah, it's pretty solid. The fighting is getting good. Like, I feel like the choreography in the fighting is getting a lot better. There is heart in this season too. I'm curious to see where it goes with Sledkin and Buzzsaw. So yeah, I think this season is a solid 8 out of 10 foxes. So guys, what do you think of this season? What did you guys think? If you guys watched it, or if you haven't, or if you plan to, I apologise for spoiling everything, but that's just how I do things. I apologise for anyone else who's not a furry, who deals with this review kind of thing, deals with this. Thank you very much for sticking around. I absolutely appreciate it. Please do give me a like. Leave me some comments down below on if you like these videos, if you don't like my videos, and all that kind of stuff. I absolutely appreciate it. Yeah, all that stuff, yeah. Give this video a like and subscribe to our channel, because I'll love you if you do. Hit that bell icon, and VitoFox says, be who you want to be. Alright guys, bye for now. You can now have your dragons up on the surface with you. So you bring that dragon inside for the cold and sleep with your dragon. Damn, you good sir. My bad. How dare you? How dare you? You bring that dragon into the... I keep on forgetting the first part of it. But as they see that one poor sheep whose wool is still stupid. What? Oh, I'm reading the wrong part of the script. So this episode comes down to June, all like Sledkin, Blazie, and me, unlike my mother. I don't know why I said it like that. So now knowing it was her taking all the crystal thing, my Bobby stuff. Yeah. Hi. I get it. It's a good moment to do it. It was just very weird. I don't know what that meant, but you know, just giving someone a little massage down here. It's a little hobgoblin dragon that's stuck in a cage. I was gonna say cave. Tie it up to a sub and set it off. Tie it up to. I'm so tired. I'm so done.